Yo, it's Ryan, the Smart Web Tutor. What's going on? It's good to see you. I just wanted to come to you today. I'm going to be presenting to you a series that I'm doing in my Facebook group called Thursday Night Live, right? Every Thursday night I go live in my Facebook group, but I'm going to be bringing us videos shortly after I've done them in the group over here to my YouTube channel so that you can enjoy them as well. The Thursday Night Lives is a series of just internet marketing training to get you up to speed about the process of building your business online. Every week I go live, Thursday Night Live, 5 p.m. Pacific Standard Time, right in my group, the Internet Marketing Show. So I wanted to bring them here, lay it out. I'm going to release one video a week, just like I'm doing in my group, so that you can have them here and you can follow the series. And I'll tag each one with a number in chronological as I release them. And I'll title them the Internet Marketing Show, like number 1, number 2, right? With the title of the episode. So I hope that you enjoy this new series that I'll be releasing, the Internet Marketing Show. And each week, you can just build on the last. Building your business, focusing on the foundations of internet marketing. Forget about the info overload, right? No more shiny object syndrome. Get clear. Know your message. Study it. Understand what you want to do, and then move on. I'm glad you're here. Thanks for joining. Now here's episode 1. Yo, it's Ryan coming to you live Thursday night, and it's a pleasure to be here. Just starting out. It's my first live in my group, and I'm totally excited that you're here. And so if anybody's joining on a replay, just press or just post replay in the chat. If you're here live right now, just give a shout out, put some likes, and pound on that comments. So anyway, the topic for this evening is defragment your marketing mind. We have a lot of things coming at us daily, and it's no different in the marketing space, because you may be on a ton of different lists. You may be getting a bunch of different hey, Odile, it's good to see you, man. Thanks for stopping by. Proud that you're in this group and contributing. I appreciate you, man. All right, so just as in daily life, in marketing, we really get distracted with a lot of different things, and the choice to choose one place to stay to get one message is really hard, because there's a lot of people producing some great content. There's a lot of great information out there. But what happens is that we try to take everything in all at once. We want to do this, we want to do that, we want to do this, and we want to do that. And the truth is, we can't do everything. And we're not going to be able to do everything in this life. Okay? It's just like going on vacations. It's like, unless that's your bucket list, is to travel to every single country in the world before you die, it's not going to happen, right? You got to make a choice. So somebody may just love to be going to Hawaii, every year, and that's good enough for them. But they're not stressed out because they're not going to every single country in the whole wide world before they die. They're just happy to go to Hawaii and soak up the sun. All right? So there's so much going on in our lives and business. So why do I use this example? Obviously, it's because we need to focus on the little things. We need to focus on the things that are going to bring us further on in our business. So we can relate to physical things. Everybody has dealt with a sluggish computer, right? So that's why I use the defragment metaphor. I'm using that metaphor in order to just bring to your mind, because when your computer gets sluggish, you'll end up getting the slow browser window, right? And then you're like, doggone computer, it's not working right. And then you're like, I just got this computer, and why is it running so slow? You know? And that's the same thing with what happens to our mind. We get sluggish. We're not thinking right. And then all of a sudden, the computer, it freezes, right? You know, we got this frozen window, and we're just like, oh man, I was right in the middle of something, and this computer's not working. Or I was right in the middle of an important message in a video that you're watching, and all of a sudden your computer freezes, or there's a stall in the video playback. And then you just gotta, then maybe you just gotta restart your computer. You're like, doggone it, I was right in the middle of it. I got all these windows that I was working in, and you got 10 different tabs going. You have some text documents that you didn't save, and you got some Word documents you were working on that you didn't save, and maybe your Excel spreadsheet's open and you forgot to forgot to save that as well. And you're like, man, I got to do it. I got to restart the computer, right? And eventually, maybe you get that. Remember that blue screen of death, the dreaded blue screen of death that would come up on your computer, and all of a sudden you're just like, oh no, my computer, it's down, and then you got to figure out what's going on. Now you're going to either have to you go on another computer and figure out how to fix the blue screen of death, or you're going to have to maybe take it to a tech and have them look at your computer and say, and they might tell you, oh well, your motherboard's gone, you need to get a new motherboard, or you just need to get a new computer. Nowadays we're lucky because the new computers aren't that expensive. You could replace your computer for a few $100s to $500 maybe, but if you're going to get a nice one, then we're looking at more. But anyway, if you got all these things that are happening, you got all these screens open on your computer, you got all these things you're doing, and you're running your computer day and night, it's going to get sluggish. It's going to start wearing down. And that's the same thing with your mind. You're putting in so much information, you feel like you have to get it all, right? You have to make sure that you're going to get everything done, and you're going to, before you die, you're just going to make sure that you just emptied everything. You emptied the full tank. And I'm going to give O'Dealy there a like. Hey O'Dealy, you still there? I appreciate you, man. And anyway, let's get back to the topic. We just like the computer. We have to get rid of the old programming, right? We have to get rid of the old programming that's in our mind. See, ever since we were young kids, yeah, O'Dealy. Awesome analogy, computer and the mind. Yeah, buddy, you know it. He gets a care, hearts for that one. Yeah, ever since we were young, man, we've been giving all this information. Our parents gave us the information. The schools gave us the information. The churches gave us the information. The next door neighbor, the old lady down the road, whatever it was, people were forcing this information at you, and you didn't know what to believe. You didn't know what were you going to do with this information. Eventually, you were just programmed to believe a lot of different things, right? But just like in marketing, there's a time where you got to step back and you got to cleanse. You got to think about things. You got to update your programming. You got to understand that in order for myself to move forward, I gotta just reprogram myself. I gotta recharge, right? You gotta renew the cells in your body. You gotta renew the cells in your mind. and then you got to initiate a new program. If you can initiate that new program and get that stuff moving in yourself, it's like instead of listening to all these people that told you what in your past, now you're like, no, man, I got to start listening to myself. I got to start listening to the higher power. I got to start listening to the things that are coming at me that I understand are the things that I need to do in order to get myself going, and get myself into that next place. And it may be that you needed to lean on somebody that had some information that you felt like you needed to go on in your life too. You might already have somebody that's like a mentor that's helping you like bring that out in yourself. A lot of times we're not disciplined enough in order to get that out of us on our own. So we need help, and the biggest help is to start simplifying and like kind of purging yourself, going through your inbox and like unsubscribing from a lot of different lists that you're on. Now you're defragmenting your email inbox. Now all of a sudden you're getting only 10 or 20 like important emails a day rather than 150, like my email inbox used to be, and still is, because I still am, subscribing to this and subscribing to that, and all of that does is just really gets you more confused. So the truth is, we are trying to take in too much information. We're trying to do too much. We are trying to take it all in, and it's like the library. Like if you went to the public library or you went to the university library, right, and you looked at tens and thousands of books, hundreds of thousands maybe. If you go into a large library, there might be hundreds of thousands of books in there. You go to the biggest libraries, there's millions of books, right? Now, if you put on yourself the responsibility to learn every single book that was ever written, or if you're a movie fan or whatever and you wanted to watch every single movie that was ever made, there's like 100,000 movies that have been made over in the past. You just don't have the time. There's not enough time. That's why you got to pick and choose. Right now there's a billion things that are happening right now that would be awesome to experience, right? But what you need to do is you need to create your own experience, that awesome experience, the experience that's going to be awesome, that fulfills your life. Because if you kept worrying about all the things you didn't do, if you were in that library and you were worried about, the other 110,000 books that you weren't reading, when you could have a stack of 20 that got you what you needed, right? So there's just too much information. So we're in info overload, and info in all of them, but in reality it's impossible. There's just not enough time, right? We end up just sorting through all the books and not learning anything. It's just busy work. So you got a library of say in your house you got a library of thousands of books, right, or hundreds at least. And then all of a sudden you're looking at this bookshelf and you're like, God, man, I got all these books. Now I need to get through them. Well, now you're like, man, that's too much of a task, because in order for me to get through all those books, say that you have 1,000 books and you did one book a week. So now it would take you 20 years. Now, what would that be? Yeah, 20 years to read 1,000 books if you did one a week. That's a long time. So that's why you need to focus. You need to pick the things that you believe in your heart are going to put you forward, and you need to stick with those things. Read that book, get the information out of it, apply what it's teaching you, and then move on to the next thing. Otherwise, you're going to have all these things around you, and you're just going to feel like you need to just defragment, get the stuff out of the way. All of a sudden, you're going to push the books to the side. You're never going to read them, and all these things. So look at the things that you're doing right now, and it's time to defragment that marketing mind, so that you just don't get too confused. Because What I'm here to do is to help you get out of the information overload and the shiny object syndrome. I am a big I'm not going to call myself a victim, but if you get soaked up in the marketing world, you will become an absorber of information, and I don't want that to become your default and become your let's say your problem, your handicap in this marketing world, where the information becomes your work and then you forget to do the work. So if I'm going to leave you right now with the information that to defragment, clear the clutter in your life, clear the clutter in your inbox, clear the clutter on your desk, clear the clutter, and get yourself to a place where you feel like refreshed and where you feel like you are now without the extra burden, like you're not carrying a backpack of 50-pound books right around with you all the time, this heavy weight that's being lifted from you, so that you can now go on and do those tasks, the DMO we call it, right O'Dealy, the DMO. We're having this daily mode of operation where we are doing this, we're doing that, we're doing this and that, and that's what's going to get us to our goal. First you have to have the goal, and then you got to figure out what are the steps that are going to get me there. So don't let those distractions and get in your way, and then defragment, simplify, and move on to your objective. And your objective is to build a business, serve other people, and create good stuff, good content, and create a good atmosphere for your audience, so that you can bring the goods and then make the money. All right, so O'Dealy, I'm glad you were here. I appreciate you, man. We'll see you on the other calls, and for right now, until next Thursday, the same time, I'll be going live every week on Thursday, 5 p.m. Pacific Standard Time, and we'll be coming with more content like this, information that I don't think a lot of people are talking about. I think that, they're always talking about building something or doing something like this, but really what you need to do is break down what's going on inside, and then the good stuff will start showing up on the outside. One of my favorite quotes is, if you don't go within, you'll go without. So, all right, this is Ryan coming to you this week, and I'm signing off until next week, and we'll see you later. All right, thanks for joining. Bye now.